So hello everyone, my name is Aaron, California, and this presentation will be on the Idaho homelessness crisis that is going on. So I'll go through and explain how I believe that this situation meets the level of a crisis. So this assessment targeted the homelessness population in Idaho to meet the definition of homelessness. The federal government identifies states that a person must lack essentially inadequate housing at night. It's not regular place that they sleep, and it's also not somewhere normally inhabited by people. So there is technically a legal definition to be considered homeless, and I encourage you to look that up. So in Idaho, to begin with, the population of Idaho is about 1.7 million, so not too big. It's on any given day, the federal government has found that about 2,315 residents in the state are homeless that meet the federal definition of homelessness on any given day. And we'll see here in this presentation how Idaho is lacking in resources to meet this crisis. So a great source that I spoke with is Daryl Keim. He's the director of the Latah Recovery Center and is also on the board for Sojourners Alliance. And he stated that the city of Moscow, Idaho, has only 2 organizations that aid with housing for the homeless. And we'll see that even those 2 sources, Sojourners and the other, are limited. For example, at this moment, they are at capacity. They can't help anyone else who asks for housing right now. In Idaho, there are lack of resources. According to reporter Margaret Carmel, Idaho has just 7 public centers where individuals can go to declare that they are homeless and receive help. Now, if an individual does not report to one of those centers, it's less likely that they'll be counted in the homelessness statistical data. So the earlier number we saw about homelessness may actually be higher. Again, say an individual is couch surfing, well, they may not be counted on statistical data for homelessness. So limited resources. Daryl Keim stated that the Latah Recovery Center has only about $50,000 from the county to help with housing or helping the homeless in any given way. And $50,000 is by no means enough to house the homeless in the long run. It could help temporarily with paying, say, for multiple nights in a motel, but it's something that's not solving the homelessness crisis. And that's just one example. So contributing factors, the small population of Idaho, limited state funding. The state clearly isn't putting forth enough money or can't put forth enough money to help remedy this problem. Few homeless shelters, and also major factors that contribute to homelessness. The government found that about 30% of the homeless have a mental health disorder, and another 50% also have a co-occurring substance use disorder. So we see that housing them alone isn't going to solve the problem if they can't mentally control themselves enough to stay in housing or do what's necessary to stay in adequate housing. Strengths that the state has: one is the Latah Recovery Center. It's trying to do its best to help, even though the Latah Recovery Center is not a homeless shelter, and there's so many homeless that homelessness is not considered a crisis. So if they called and asked for help on the crisis line, they'll be told that's not a crisis and we can't help them. They can be given a referral, but they won't be able to be given any kind of emergency housing. Strengths, the $50,000 is being proposed to be used to create showers for the homeless. So that's a plus that may go through. We've identified a place for that may happen. Strengths and what is needed, possible need for federal aid if the state of Idaho cannot meet this this homelessness crisis through its own funding. Here are a list of references that you can follow, and thank you very much.